Hello.
Hi, everyone.
It is Monday night again. The very last Monday of July.
Oh, my God.
I know. I don't know where July went.
Possible?
But yeah, it is possible. My hair's doing something funky today, but oh well. We are coming to you from an undisclosed location. If we told you, we'd have to kill you. We wouldn't want that to happen. So,
or are we just green screening it?
Well, yes. Well, that could be.
Up to them to decide.
Another great show for you tonight. Really excited.
Yes.
I feel like this is like our Young Lions show. You know, like the people that, you know, in I don't know, 2 years are going to be like, you know what, we had them on our little basement show.
That's right.
The summer of 2020, COVID summer.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So without further ado, I think we should just get right to it because we've got a lot of great music and I think you want to see it. So we are going to introduce our first guest, one of my favorite people on the entire planet, a beautiful guy, a beautiful musician, and I love his parents too. So he's an apple that did not far fall from the nice tree. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, here we go with David Leon. Hello, David.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, Nikki. You're so sweet. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here too. I just want to take a second to introduce my accompanist for today. This is Leslie Mock on the drums. Leslie, you can't hear them, but they're clapping for you very much. Yeah. And yeah, we've been quarantining together for 4 months, and she's the only other instrumentalist in my building. And so we've been playing a lot of music together, and yeah, we've fallen into playing lots of standards, and it's what's feeling really good these days. So that's what we'll play for you. This first one is one by Horace Silver. This is Nika's Dream. Thank you. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, that was Horace Silver's, what was that called? Nika's Dream. Yeah, so I think next up we'd like to play a ballad for you. And I feel really personally attached to this ballad. It's just one of my favorite songs that I've ever heard. And it's by Thelonious Monk. It's Thelonious Monk's Round Midnight. And I think in particular, the way that the notes are structured, the harmonic information in the song, I think is beautiful and iconic. But more than that, I think that the opening phrase of the song is just a beautiful shape that gets totally expanded and turned into this whole song, just really masterfully. And Thelonious Monk does that really well. So I think in his tradition of being a radical thinker and a creative musician, I wanted to take his melody and change it a little bit. And I think that it's still, I took that opening phrase and changed the shape of it, but managed to keep it through the rest of it, so that I think that his melody is so strong that even when I change it, it still sounds like his. So this is Round Midnight. One, two, three, four. Are they there? Are they there? Can they hear me?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. And I will say, you know, I really appreciate everybody who's listening. I'm sure you all have thought about this, but these live stream concerts are very challenging for musicians who are used to people being in the room. You know, we're having a great time, but it's so strange to play to the walls, you know. It's just a way of life, and it's not easy. But yeah, so I think we'll close out. We'll play one more, and then I'll come and I'll talk to you guys. Oh, this is another one by Thelonious Monk. It's called "Well You Needn't." Enjoy. Oh, I just saw Joe Donato show up. Well, Joe, if you're still there, I have a story about you that I was hoping to tell on this. Anyway, see you in a bit.
Loving
so
it.
Good. That was, of course, David Leon on the saxophone and Leslie Mock on the drums.
That's right, Leslie Mock on the drums, yeah.
Yeah, she sounds great. Killing it. Now, David's flashy. He's got multiple camera angles.
I know. He impresses. You know, that's the best. One of the best things about doing this
Look at that.
week after
Just two.
week. Still, it's a first for us. So it's something new that we could learn and take from. Because it feels like every week we learn a little bit more about getting better sound, a little bit more about production, blah blah blah. So thank you.
Of course. Oh, happy to be here. Wow.
I
Look at you guys.
have to say, the way you have your apartment arranged, it looks like a little bistro, you know, with the lights and of course the exposed brick and the whole thing. So
if only I could make Italian food, you know. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
So you are in New York.
I am in New York. I'm currently in Brooklyn, Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York.
And look, Peggy Gazer's watching you.
Such a treat to hear you. Hi, Peggy.
While you're playing, we had this comment.
From
So
Barcelona.
people far and wide are watching.
Very cool.
You never know.
Yeah.
This could be your big break.
Hey,
How have you been?
I've been okay. You know, the quarantine is hard for everyone, and it's been hard, but I'm staying in good spirits, and you know, happy to be doing things like this. So.
And
Yeah.
are you able to do like some other things? You know, I'm probably teaching. I would assume that you're doing, but are you able to do? I don't know, work on music or pre-production, post-production of something that might come out or.
Yeah, So I was going to say, you know, I am available for lessons online. If anybody out there is listening and would like a lesson on the saxophone,
There you go.
Is all this information on your website, I presume?
Yes, it should be. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, no, So I have been able to teach a few students and actually reconnect with old students. That's been really great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean, the first month, you know, Leslie and I have been quarantined together. She plays drums. She's also a musician. She's a fantastic composer, and so we thought we can't let this time go to waste, and we're going to treat it like a residency. And so right away, it's like, let's both get right to work. So I started writing some solo snare drum things, and that's a lot harder than you would think to write for just the snare drum.
Wow.
I wrote some things, but I don't think it sounds very good, so I didn't do anything with it. But
Did she give you any like tips or you know?
Like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah,
Anything like that?
just keep writing. You know, keep trying at it. You'll get there someday.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay.
And she wrote me a piece for soprano saxophone. And so she actually managed to finish it in, I don't know, 2 weeks or something.
So can I ask you a question? Was her piece for soprano sax better than your piece for snare?
Infinitely better. Yeah. I was going to say it's a fantastic piece, and it actually took her 2 weeks to write it, but it took me a month and a half to record it. It was so hard.
Oh, wow.
I recorded it in here with my setup that you're hearing me from, and like in multiple chunks, and we actually released it 2 days ago.
Okay.
Nice.
So that was a productive thing that we did, and you know, otherwise I've actually been listening to a lot of Cuban music and reconnecting to some of my roots, reading about Cuban history, and specifically about like Cuban Chinese history. I'm part Chinese.
Okay.
Is that right?
And there's a really, I didn't know there were Cuban Chinese people. I didn't know that was a thing, but there
Of course.
were hundreds of thousands of Cuban
Yeah.
Chinese people, and just finding out about how they got to the island and what it was like when they were there. It's like something I never thought of, you know. And I've had time to do that during this period.
Very
so.
cool. Well,
Yeah.
it's been a blessing and a curse, right? As far as being able to have the time to do things that you might have been putting off, and then of course not having a gig in 3 months or 4 months or 5 or 6.
Well, however long it's been.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're still going. Yeah.
Yeah. That's I think the hardest thing is that when it first started, we weren't sure how long it was going to be, but we just assumed, like 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, we can do this for 3 or 4 weeks, and now it's just, we can't even imagine when it'll be safe to do a gig in a theater, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, here in New York, they are actually opening up a little bit. I mean, I think that by the time that musicians can play, we're at the very bottom of
Right.
the last things.
Yeah.
Opening up, the last things. You know, I mean, again, we need people in a room to play, and
Exactly.
if you can't have people in a room, you can't play.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hope that that's coming in a few months.
Unless it just goes back to busking, you know, on the street.
Oh,
With
man.
with you know your sax case open.
You know, that pays better than a lot of the gigs that I've
It's true.
So it's serious.
Sad but true.
Seriously, yeah, it's serious. So
So get out there, Dave.
yeah.
So, you know, it's always interesting when we have young
Yes.
guests on, because, you know, on part of us is like, well, what are we going to talk about? But then we realize, you know, as young as you are, you started like when you were tiny. How
Yeah.
long have you been at this?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think about that. I started the piano in 3rd grade.
Okay.
Oh,
And then I started the saxophone in 6th grade.
Did you not have like an affinity for the piano? What was it?
I loved the piano.
Okay.
So I saw Joe Donato, and I don't know if he's still there, but I was going to tell the story about Joe Donato.
Tell him.
I actually haven't told many people the story because I was only remembering it as I was looking at the photos that I sent you.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was just my uncle is a musician, and he, you know, we used to like play on drums and stuff together, and play to records and to music, and so he, as a birthday present, said, I'm going to you know, fund your summer camp, and I wound up going to the Young Musicians Camp.
Okay.
That would have been 2nd grade or something.
Wow.
And shortly thereafter, I started taking piano lessons, and I kept playing, and I really liked it. And then I had to go into middle school. And when I got to middle school,
It's the band.
I was going to join the band, and I had the option of being. I was in the jazz band instead of the concert band, and I had the
Yeah.
option of being either the 5th piano player in a jazz band of 60 or 70 people, or anything else. And
Right.
you know, so I chose the 22nd saxophone player instead. But I only chose the saxophone because that summer at the musicians camp, I was in Joe Donato's ensemble, and
Okay.
he taught me how to play what I now know as a C blues on the piano.
Okay.
And while he was showing me how to comp, literally chord by chord, he would go, put your fingers here, here it is. He would play with the band and me, and then he'd go, okay, you're going to switch, and then put my fingers on the next place, and then he would play again. And I just thought he was the most astounding thing. It's like, this instrument is so incredible. Whatever he has in his hands
Yeah.
is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And so I knew when I got to the band, I was like, I'm going to do that one, you know? And it's because of Joe Donato. So it warms my heart to see his name pop up.
It is a funny thing how, you know, you just don't know where inspiration is going to come, or what weird thing, you know, triggers that sense of curiosity about an instrument, or But we do want to show a picture of you when you were little playing the sax because it really is the cutest, one of the cutest things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, the one on the right. Look at my little tummy. Wow.
Yeah.
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 How old were you there?
Oh, that's must have been 6th grade. That looks like 6th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long had you been playing at that point? A couple of years?
No, a few months. I mean,
a few months.
Playing music for a few years, but I had just picked up
Right.
the saxophone. You know.
Did you feel an immediate connection to it? Did you just did it feel great to you or?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember the day that I was able to rent the saxophone. You know, you pay $25 to the school and they give it to you for the year. I brought it into the car and my dad picked me up and said, you know, oh, we got to go by CVS. I have to pick up some medicine or something. And I was like, no, please, we have to go home so that I can touch it. And he was like, no, we have to go to CVS. I'm sorry. So he went into CVS, and I stayed in the hot car, the Miami car.
Oh, my God.
And opened the saxophone by myself in the car and just stared at it for 5 minutes while he was getting the medication.
Just
Came
to
back.
see it.
Yeah, and then when I got home, I put the reed on, probably upside down and backwards, and just began to play. And I do know that my parents have told me that was some of the worst sounds they've ever heard. Just that first day was like,
yeah.
What is he doing? You know, was this a mistake? But I loved it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. That's so fun. Oh yeah. So here's a picture of you with Ira. And
yes.
Is that high school, or you think that's still?
Or is that the camp?
This is still middle school. So this,
okay.
Yeah, this might have been. I went to the camp twice, and I think like a year apart or something. So maybe I was 7th or 8th grade here, but I really wanted to. I knew he was Ira Sullivan. I hadn't met him yet. And,
look, here you go. He's still
hey,
watching.
Joe. Absolutely, always. To you, Joe. And you know, I think that particular day I brought my baritone saxophone because everybody else was playing alto saxophone and tenor saxophone and the smaller horns that are easy to carry. And I thought, if I play baritone, surely I can get in, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just walking around like late and lost on the campus, and Ira wound up seeing me, this little kid with this gigantic, you know, case, and saying like, "Oh, hey, are you lost? Do you need help?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just going up there, you know." Actually, I was afraid. "Oh, I'm going up there. Will you help me?" You know? And he goes, "Here, I'll help you out." So he grabbed it and he took it up the stairs for me.
Oh wow!
And he's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "Oh, it's just it's Volpe 235 or whatever." And he goes, "Volpe 2? That's across the way. That's across the lake. You're on the total other side." You know, so. And that was how we met, and then we wound up talking for another 10 minutes because he carried it for me all the way across.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
The way, yeah.
So the first year you did that camp, you did it as a piano player, and then that second year you came back as a sax player.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
And the connection with jazz, how did that come about? And did you feel it immediately?
Yeah. Well, I think I grew up playing like classical piano, and my dad would have, or my parents would have, at that time, Smooth Jazz Love 94, 92.9 on the radio. So that was the jazz that I heard, and
right.
And I think when I joined the jazz band, I thought, well, because the beginning band was the beginning band, and when I went in, I was able to get into the jazz band, which is the next step up or whatever, because I'd already been playing. Right. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be with the big kids, then I got to do my homework and I got to do the research. So, you know, I listened to, I think it was Sing Sing Sing, the big band album, because my parents gave me a Christmas album of big band music, and I just fell in love with the big band stuff first, and then I think it was Stan Getz and Paul Desmond around the same time, and like Take 5, and you know that
right.
Like the Girl from Ipanema stuff, all the bossa nova stuff they loved with Stan Getz.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was what I wanted to do. I just knew.
And then you went to high school at New World, where you encountered the infamous Jimmy G.
The infamous Jimmy G. Yeah, and this is, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, this isn't putting on the Ritz. This, I must be wearing a tuxedo.
It says Lincoln Portrait.
Oh! Yeah, we're playing, this is Essentially Ellington, my freshman year.
Okay.
So the Essentially Ellington Festival in New York, that when I was there, the band was really lucky to go all 4 years. And
that's amazing.
Yeah. After I left, the band won. You know,
do you think it was related?
Yeah. No, but you know, the program is fantastic, and you know, Gazer's just the I'm convinced it's the best band director in the world. Yeah,
I would agree with you. But, and this is where I met you for the first time, because I think I came in and sang with the band. And I have to say, it's like you just stood out to me as such a good, just a fine young man. I just, I really was struck by just, your comportment and just what a great kid you were, And I don't know, that will always, sit with me.
Thank you.
Forever.
I hope
even
so.
if you turn out to like rob a bank or steal from old ladies, embezzle, I'm gonna think that he was the nicest boy.
He was the nicest boy. You see, there you go.
Boy.
Yeah. Well,
so anyway, we have this picture here, and we just so happen to have Jimmy G with us, just to say a couple words.
Oh, wow! Look at that. Hi, Gager. How you doing?
How we doing?
It's so good to see you. Wow.
Good to see you too.
Anyway, so what was the experience like over at New World? Was Jim, very stern, or did you feel comfortable? You could say anything.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not lying. I felt totally comfortable. I think that Gager is a it's like a rare breed of teacher where you feel like he's your big brother in that way. It's like but it's still. But I knew that you wanted me to do better, and I was never like, oh, he's my brother, I can slack. But I also felt like I could be comfortable enough to really take what you were telling me and not, not like I have a problem with authority, but.
I have to say that I was always really amazed by Jim, because whenever I would see him with you guys, or with the high school group, I always felt like that he was everybody thought he was super fun. But when it was time to work, they knew, like, okay, Gager is serious right now. We gotta, do what we gotta do. Like he really was able to toe that line of being fun and then being tough when it needed to be tough. So
yeah, and I think I even remember the first year that we went to essentially Ellington. I think that the band was strong, but there were some like just interpersonal conflicts or there was some drama going on or something, and the week before we went, everybody was really nervous because it's a big deal to go. And I don't know if you remember this, because you probably do. You had us, you were like, today for jazz band, we're just going to talk. And I had some friends in the band, but I'd never really thought to hear everyone's perspectives and what was on their mind and why is that bothering them. And, I think that ultimately the music benefited, because there's no music without a social context, and we were making that music, but you started that, you led that, and I think that a lot of the other band directors that I saw there too, as much as they love their students, I always got the feeling that some of them are more militant and like, this is the way you play big band, and the students, there's a disconnect there between the students and the teachers, but I don't know, I never felt that personally. I had a great time. I learned a lot. Yeah.
Well, Jim did send a video of you playing at essentially Ellington.
Jim, you want to set this one up?
Yeah, sure. I actually stumbled upon this through the recent kind of essentially Ellington, the virtual festival, and seen that there was a few more videos online than I had realized. So I stumbled on this one of New World Jazz Band playing Perdido. So Dr. Pete Francis is conducting. So it must have been your, if I'm getting this right, must have been your junior or senior year. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah.
You were interim dean. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was interim dean for 3 years, and I was your, like David, I right, jazz band, jazz combo, and theory teacher your freshman year.
Correct. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then in various years after that, I was either one of those three or
one of the three. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of just rotated, and so I think this is. Would you know if it was your freshman your junior or senior year?
Definitely not my senior year. I think it. Oh, maybe not actually. No, I don't.
So it was Perdido, and I think Harley Basadre is in the band, and Tony Madruga.
Is Rain in the band?
We'll
see.
We'll see in the video. Yeah,
if he is, it's not my senior year. Yeah.
Okay.
This is an excerpt from that performance
Yeah.
of Perdido.
Wow. That's
Memories?
great.
Did
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
memories?
I was listening back and saying, wow, I remember how much I used to love. I mean, I love Troy Roberts now, but I remember how much I used to adore him playing tenor then too. Like, you know, I hear it. Crazy.
That is so great. Well, we just wanted to say hi to
Yeah.
Jim and share a couple of moments with him and talk about New World.
Can I throw just a quick kind of 2 cents in?
Absolutely.
I mean,
course.
since it's the David show here, I just wanted to just, as from a teacher's perspective, David was not just such a great, a kind of, a stellar musician to work with, but he really, really, really was one of the very, very best students that I've ever had. I've had, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 students over the course of 20 years that were that demonstrated the kind of enthusiasm and I'm not even going to say cooperation because David would challenge me and I like that. So it's just, but it really showed me that he always,
Was
you
engaged.
exactly. You don't want to say something to a student. You don't want to say to a student, up is down and down is up, and then they say,
Right.
okay, like yeah, whatever you say, I agree with you. So it was always, David. I see it in guest artists that we've had an opportunity, to come to the school. There's a great line in the Ken Burns jazz series where Dave Rubeck is talking, and he goes to Turkey and he hears people playing 11/8 time, and his comment is just like, they're playing an 11/8. Why don't I learn to do that? And he just runs in. So in other words, anybody can be enthused. Anybody
Right.
can be excited. But it's an enthusiasm that leads to the pursuit of creativity. And anybody can be thrilled. I mean, you can just be excited. It's just
Right.
excitement that leads
You
to
got to do
action.
something with it.
And Sammy Nestico was the same way. And the reason I talk about the guest artists is because when you observe an artist, they're not necessarily talking about what it is that they do. But you watch a Leonard Bernstein or something like that, you hear him talking about, the music. But we have it like, so Sammy Nestico came to, and you just see Sammy's just talking about his music, and you hear the enthusiasm verbally you could just hear him. So it was David was always like that, and certainly still like that. It's to be excited about something, and then for it to lead to this kind of action and this kind of, it's very, very thrilling for a teacher, because what a teacher really wants to do is facilitate creativity. So all we can do is just give little nuggets, and the worst case scenario is the nuggets fall on the floor. And sometimes the nuggets, they receive the nuggets and they just say, great, this is a nugget, and they explain the nugget and they get an A- or whatever. but to take something, you don't want formulas spit back at you. You want to explain a theoretical concept or to show a recording, and then that to have led to some new pursuit or something. And I think David just represents that ideal as well as any student that I've ever had.
There you go.
That's really
Jim
sweet.
Gazier.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna let him go so we can hear more about your music and what you've been up to since high
Jim,
school. I mean,
thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. I'll stick around.
You're the
All
bomb.
right.
Yeah, that's just
Jim
great.
Gazier, Jimmy G.
Flesh. Wow.
Man.
So, this is the thing. You are still young. You made a joke when I sent you the thing. Send us pictures of when you were young. You're like, I'm young.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
You've done a lot. That's the cool thing. You started the weekly jam and concert series at the Fish House. You've been doing that. You've been in innumerable groups. So you want to talk a little bit about kind of some of the stuff that you've been involved in? Maybe we'll listen to some clips as you're talking.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I since you mentioned the Fish House first, I think this is a great way to say it.
By the way, I got to jump in here and say that as we were showing those pictures of you with the band, Melinda writes, David looks exactly the same.
It's true.
But you know what? The reality is, it's not that long ago for you. High school for you was
5. No.
Yeah.
A little long. Yeah.
It was
7
but
years ago. Still,
exactly,
yeah.
not so long. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
yes, Jim is so awesome.
So talk to us about the Fish House.
Oh, I was. I'll say just really quickly that. The Wednesday night gig was sort of happening with Papa Joe, and I took it over in 2012, we know now because we've seen it 4 years that Angela Rivero, the owner of the Fish House. Is one of the most generous and kind people on the planet.
Absolutely. What a great support.
Absolutely, and for the artist community, for the community of Miami, but for the artist community of Miami in particular, I can't thank her enough for letting me run that night on Wednesdays and giving me a shot, and just continuing to support that, especially as it started changing. It started where I was just playing by myself, calling my friends, and having the David Leon something every week.
Right.
And at a point, I still wanted to play, but I wanted to meet all of the people who have since become my mentors, all the people who were playing in Miami at the time, writing original and creative music, and just really trying to do something different. So I called all those people and said, hey, will you play with me? And they also said yes. And, Wendy, you're one of those people. Gazier was one of those people. And I don't know. I'm just really grateful that Angela gave me that opportunity and that she let me do that, because it gave you,
you said that it gave you a chance to play with your mentors, but it also allowed you to become a mentor as well, because a lot of the students started coming and jamming, and you always allowed, for that, and really encouraged everybody, which was just beautiful.
Yeah. And I just want to say too, since Melinda's coming on next, up until a month ago, I think I was still booking the Fish House every Wednesday, even from afar. It's a pain, but it was for what the mission was, and making sure that
good music
good music was happening Wednesday, and that gig didn't turn into somewhere where people weren't listening and didn't care, and the people who played just took it for granted. It just became too hard to do it from here, and I am so thrilled that Melinda's taken it over, and she's played there a ton of times before, and knows the place and knows Angela, and she's the perfect fit to keep the thing going.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, we have again an excerpt from you performing on your 21st birthday. 21st birthday.
And that was just what, like 3 years ago, David?
Just the other day.
That was 5 years ago at this point, but yeah.
Oh,
He's a
wow.
whopping 26.
Damn.
Let's give this a little look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21.
21.
Sounding good.
Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
So, on these shows, we always want to have the people get to know you a little bit, and there's no way that we can do a complete overview. Even though you're young, you've been active and been doing so many things, and there's video clips. I think that people that want to, find out more about you too, they can head on over to your website, right?
Certainly.
This is David Leon's music.
Because you have Sound Underground.
Yeah, Sound Underground is a collaborative band. Yeah, with
What-
myself and my old roommates from college.
Right.
Right.
We toured a bunch. Not as active these days, but we did a bunch of cool stuff, and we recorded 3 recordings, and those are up.
Very cool. And I'm a huge fan of Alec Aldred. I had him in one of my, I think, a Blakey ensemble when I was teaching at UM, and he's
Absolutely.
marvelous. But you guys sounded great. But you have a new project, right? What's your latest?
I do. Yeah, I just this project was something that I've been putting together for, I guess at this point, 1.5 years. I don't have a debut album yet that just says David Leon on it. And,
Okay.
And Sound Underground is kind of that for me, Jonah, and Alec, but it's still a collective. So this was my first effort at being a leader on recording, and we recorded it, I'm going to say 2 weeks before the pandemic really started. It's sitting in a can, but it has been mixed and mastered and is ready, and it's just, we just got to wait for the right time to put it out. But so I just wanted to play this. It is unreleased, but I wanted to play it for the people in Miami.
So you're saying this is a premiere? Is that what I'm to know?
So this will be a very quiet premiere.
Okay, but listen,
Yeah.
before we play it, I want to mention, can you go ahead and put the banner on? Because once again, I have to say, we do this because we, every Monday night, because we wanted to keep Monday nights in people's brain for jazz. Like jazz is Monday night jazz. We used to do the shows at the Open Stage Club, and I just want to reiterate that our musicians have not been able to do a gig for months, and we don't know when it's going to be able to go back to steady playing. So if you're watching this and you are able to, please support our musicians. And this sometimes gets confusing for some people, but you text the word tip jar to the number 44321. You can choose whatever amount you feel comfortable with.
What happens once they do that? Because there's a next step, right?
Yes. Oh, that's right. You get notified. You get a link to actually go to where you need to send the money to. So the money tonight will be split in the middle between David and Melinda. So just know that they haven't been working in a long time. And so if you can, we would really appreciate, and they would really appreciate some, if we showed them some love in the tip jar. Once again, we're going to text the word tip jar to the number 44321, follow the link, and it's really quite easy. Now we can play this brand new music.
And the title, Bluest Blue, pre-pandemic naming or
you know, that's funny. Yeah, it's a quote from a book that I was reading by this performance artist named Marina Abramovich. And in this piece, she essentially she would stare at another person for, I think, like 18 hours a day for a period of 6 months, and do this for public. But she says that you know, after a month or something, and staring at this person for hours, you begin to see their aura. She became so intimately aware of them that she saw their bluest blue. And you know, I don't know, I've never seen that, but I thought that was so beautiful.
Have you stared at somebody for 18 hours a day or 8 hours a day?
I've stared at my computer screen for 18 hours a day during the pandemic. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so this is under your name. This is the first, what is it, eponymous? Is that the word we use? This is under David Leon.
This is under David Leon. You won't find it anywhere because it's not here yet, but it'll be coming. So if you like this, keep
we will be looking forward. Yes. All right, here we go. Bluest Blue.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Do you have I have to just say, do you have a favorite sax? I mean, do you?
Probably alto. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the quirkiest. Although this quarantine I've gotten really close to the soprano.
Okay. Good.
So,
Well, we cannot wait to hear more from you, and we are so happy that you graced us with your music.
thank you.
And always fun learning more about people. So
Yeah. No, thanks to you too. Thanks to the Miami Jazz Cooperative for having me. Everyone who's watching, thank you.
and
Thank you. We'll be looking for that, the completed project. You think that'll be soon, or
Well,
Let's see. Yeah.
like everything else?
Like everything else.
Fingers
yeah.
crossed.
You'll
There
definitely
you
know
go.
about it if you're looking for it, though.
Super.
Yeah.
And just once again, they can go to your website.
My website works. Yeah.
Keep track. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, David. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Yeah. All right. See you soon.
have a great night.
Good night.
So,
Be safe. There we have it, David Leon, one of the nicest people and just a great musician. So on to our next guest.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've known her also since she was in high school, and I got the pleasure of actually being at FIU at the same time that she was at FIU. And she's just burning it up. It's really exciting to see the stuff that she's up to and what's going on with her. So we're going to bring her on, the amazing Melinda Rose Rodriguez. There she is.
Hey, y'all.
Hey there.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Don't you even worry about it. You're going to be singing now. So
yeah, but let me.
There you go.
This for you guys. Okay.
How you guys doing?
We're okay. We're just we just loved that last segment, so that was awesome. Great to see you, David. Great to hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, man.
It's so fun to catch up with everybody and see what everybody's like, doing pretty much the same thing. And then, but it's comforting to know that we're all in it together, even if we're
Yeah.
far apart.
Absolutely.
So you guys want to just start with playing some music?
Sure, we'll go ahead and start. So I'm not going to be able to hear you, but when we're
okay,
Okay.
how many do you want to do up front?
How many do you want to do up front?
Ours are way shorter than the last, so we'll probably do about 4. But
Okay.
they're super duper short.
We will see you 4 songs from now.
Why don't you do 3 and then save one for the end?
Sure.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, Melinda Rose Rodriguez and Gabriel
We'll do
Godoy.
3. Okay. We'll do and no. Okay, cool. Cool, Jimmy Carroll. I'll be seeing you all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through in a small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree. Hey, and the wishing well, I know I will be seeing you every lovely summer's day, and everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. Baby, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. Yes, okay. That was a tune we like to play, a very well-known standard called I'll Be Seeing You. And this next one, we're going to be playing a beautiful ballad. I heard by the great Nancy Wilson, and it's just such a great ballad. So we're going to go ahead and play it. Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm just doing it. Okay, so.
Gonna laugh you right out of my life. Laugh and forget this affair. Guess I was foolish to care. So I'm gonna dance you right out of my dreams. Try to be carefree and gay. I guess I'll learn to play the part. 'Cause when our friends begin that heartless rumor, I know I'll really need my sense of humor. I'm gonna laugh you right out of my life. Make it a beautiful joke. No one will know you broke my heart. And if I find you and I really meant that last goodbye, I'm gonna laugh so hard I'll cry. Great. Now that you're all depressed, this last one was actually a tune I wrote quite some time ago when I was a freshman in college. And I wrote it about a boy and a TV show that I really like. So, in short, you can go ahead and ignore that. Oh, sorry, go back.
You know what?
That ending. I don't think we did that.
No.
Okay, go ahead. Cool. Short ending. Cool.
Sure.
Sorry, this is the tune I wrote back my first year of college about a boy
You want to actually
and a TV show.
pull it up on your phone?
And what? And yeah, I like to write songs that make me laugh, make people laugh, and yeah. So this is one of them. You want to hear?
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
It makes life easy. There you go.
Well, I'll do the same intro. Like, I'll do the intro.
Sure.
And I'll stick that. This is gonna follow. You don't need this, do you?
No.
Okay.
Cool. Two. 2, 3, 4. Being me was something that I'd never done until you came along and said this'll be fun. I watched you be unsure about what this is, but said this is fun, I don't mind being his. You told me things like I never felt this way. it for you. Why does it matter, you say? Well, it's the nicest thing that any boy has said my way. Live long and prosper, I do. Just know that if you spoke Klingon, I'd learn it for you too. But then you went and played me like this was a game. And I know that men and boys are all the same. Because of this, I hope you know that you will pay for not learning Klingon for me.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
That is Melinda Rose Rodriguez.
Hold on, I can't hear you yet.
And Gabriel Godoy on the bass. Thank you, Gabriel. You sound fantastic. We appreciate.
I'm a fan of anyone that writes a jazz song based on Star Trek.
I know. You're a sucker.
Thank you so much for doing that song.
Our setup is not as
I know.
advanced as David's.
You know.
Well, you guys sound great. And Melinda, it seems like I just saw you, but you've done so much since I just saw you, which was probably a couple years ago. So I know you went away to get what it was the last thing I knew was that you went away to get your grad school on, and then all of a sudden you're like on TV and this whole thing. So you're doing it. It's so exciting.
Yeah, grad school was not in the stars, but it ended up happening against my will. No, I'm just kidding. It ended up happening, and I'm lucky that I had the opportunity. And I just been rolling with the punches.
And you know what? It's what a jazz way to live, right? I mean, whatever comes your way, you're just going to take a swing at it and go, which is great. So did you enjoy the experience of grad school? I mean, I know it was like in a remote part of the world for you. What was that like?
It was.
Talk to me.
The school was great. The faculty was great. The people were great. That was, it was amazing getting to be there. Again, in my mind, I never thought about going to school again on purpose.
Right.
But I'm so happy that I did. The location was interesting.
Yeah.
You're a little
and
far
for
from
you
the city.
being, for you being away from your family, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, I was not used to it. I did my first year at NEC in Boston, but then moved right back home, to do some family stuff. So just the thought of leaving again, especially with such short notice and way farther than before, that was
right. And
it was
colder.
A challenge, but yes. Oh my God, what is polar vortex? What does that even mean?
So
pretty much, my front yard was corn, my backyard was corn, and my neighbor was corn.
Wow. Do you even like corn?
No. You know what's funny? I don't even like corn like that much.
So how long were you there?
Oh, that's great.
I was there for 2 years.
And so you started singing when?
Man, I started really taking it. I think it was when I was in 5th grade. I was in a little production at school of Annie Jr., and I was obviously Miss Hannigan. And that was like the first time. Yeah, exactly, right? That was like the first time of me, I was on stage and singing and acting, and I think that was when I realized that my mom realized, oh, you can kind of sing a little bit. And so that's kind of where it got serious. So maybe middle school, I went to magnet school and started doing the choral programs, but that's probably, maybe 5th grade is where it got serious.
You were just like, I could do this. That's it. Yeah.
I just knew how good I had a broken leg, and I was going to get, my understudy was going to take my part, and I was like, no, this is my part. And so I did the play with a broken leg, and at the end, I remember the last night, the principal was like, I just want to let everybody know Ms. Hannigan has been doing this whole week of shows on a broken leg, and everybody clapped for me, and I just remember that feeling was the feeling that I would chase for the rest of my life.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And have you done any more plays after that, or was one and done?
No, actually, especially in Illinois, they do a lot of that there, and I wanted to, but I didn't. It ended there.
Could you see yourself doing a role in a show? Like 8 nights
absolutely.
a week, the same? Okay.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a dream come true, but I mean, I'm the kind of person that I'm like, I like acting, and then I think tomorrow I'm going to be a professional actor. You know what I mean?
Right.
I forget that just like music, it takes like years of school and study and knowledge to do something. Well.
I think singers have a leg up just because we are acting. Each song has a different character, and in order to be able to really sell it, we have to feel it, and so we're good. We're natural feelers or pretenders. I guess.
Oh yeah,
fakers,
that's yeah.
liars.
Live. Wow.
As Ryan Ellis used to say, fake it till you make it.
That's right.
That sounds very right.
You know what? And that it sounds so cliche, whatever, but that has served me well in life.
Exactly. Yes, very much.
Exactly. So, what do you,
Melinda? The songwriting thing, it's intriguing to me. I mean, your songs are actually.
They're very
I remember
clever.
when I first saw Melinda when she came into my radar. I think it was that first year of the Miami Jazz Festival, and I was playing with Othello Molyneux in I guess it was downtown Miami or something.
Oh yes.
It was like
Miami
5 years
Downtown
ago,
Jazz
6 years ago, and you were on before us, and so we're waiting for them to finish for us to set up, and I had never heard of you, and I was like, wow, I was blown away. And I've been a fan ever since.
Oh.
But then this whole thing with the Klingon song and other songs that you've written, that they sound so, like standards, things that could have been written by, the great composers or whatever, which is, we've had a few guests like that that have done that kind of thing. It's like, wait a minute, is that something that's already in the books, or you have a knack for that? Are you just a natural mimic, or you love that genre? How do you go about these compositions?
Well,
clearly the lyrics aren't Cole Porter.
No. Well, I mean, getting into this music, I mean, I had a great teacher, Lisa Ann Lyons. She was always like every lesson, she would, give me 5 new tunes. And like it came to the point that in the end of my, career at school, I was learning almost like 6 tunes a week. Just even if I wasn't like, super in-depth changes or whatever, I was getting 6 new melodies in my head to this kind of set of like, ice cream changes, if you want to call
right.
it, you know what I mean? And like building that sound in my brain to where when the lyrics came, they always came with the melody. So, for example, the Klingon song came, if you spoke Klingon, I'd learn it for you. Super, super diatonic. And I just, I spent a lot of time like, oh, this is not cool enough. This is not hip enough. And I was like, wait, but it's like the thing that I like to hear it. I like to sing it. And I like to write music to it. So I just didn't like shy away from those doors opening in my brain, and just like started taking very specific instances like that. That was a real thing that someone had said to me, and just starting to get into good music. Usually I like to think in song titles, because
that's
I remember
how I
when
do
I was
too.
Yeah, when I was a student at Mac, in my high school, I didn't own a real book, and I kind of was just learning what jazz was, and I would just open the real books and just skim the index for songs that sounded like they would be fun, or that I had seen like the title somewhere or heard somewhere, and just started making copies. And then
Right.
at the end of my school, I had a 5-inch binder just full of tunes that either I knew, wanted to learn, or just by the title of it. So I
Right.
thought, man, that's probably the most. If I want people to sing my music, you know, the title has to be like, man, what's this going to be about? You know. So
So is that song? It's Not You, It's Me? Is that one of yours?
It is also one of mine. Yes.
Okay, I would like to play that because as I was listening to it, I was wondering who's this by, and I'm like, you know, Wikipedia, Google.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure she wrote that.
and Wendy's like, that sounds like something that she might have written. So
I did. Yes. I stole the
the verse.
because I thought
Right.
it would be so funny, and it was like a perfect way to set it up. So, but I did.
And
steal
that's
the verse
the
from
verses
I
I Wish You Loved, right?
Yes. Yes.
But so the verse is going to happen, but then the song after that is Melinda's
Is
song,
mine.
and this is a perfect example of one of those songs where you're like, wait a minute, who is it?
Which sounds familiar, but you know.
But so cool.
Yeah, great.
Oh my God, you're in this one. Goodbye. This is where our story ends. No use leading with our chins. Ever lovers, never friends. Goodbye. Let our hearts call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say, can't say that I didn't enjoy the time we had. I can't say I would do it again, but I'm certainly glad that you came into my life and showed me what young love could be. But I gotta break it to you, I can't fake it to you, it's not got you, it's me. I can't say that I really have felt this way before. I'm not shocked cause I know that there will be oh so many more of the guys who swear they care but really, no, they just can't see. There's someone else I gotta work on myself. Oh, it's not you, it's me. I thought I met my match, but there will be a batch of guys who'll try to snatch up my heart. Oh, there's no need for tears, for there'll be many years for you to grind your gears, but just not with me. They say that there's always somebody for everyone. I can't say that for me it was more than just having some fun, but you're swell and I can tell that one day you will be happy. But I gotta break it to you, I can't fake it to you, it's not you, it's me. to smash up my heart. Oh, there's no need for tears, for there'll be many years for you to grind your gears, but just not with me. They say that there's always somebody for everyone. I can't say that for me it was more than just having some fun, but you're swell and I can tell that one day you will be happy. But I gotta break it to you, I can't fake it to you. There's someone else, I gotta work on myself. But I gotta break it to you, I can't fake it to you. It's not you, it's me.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Pre-quarantine.
Nice.
And you've been watching the comments.
Yes.
So it's so funny.
That was that FIU?
No, that was
UM.
WDNA.
Was that the?
That was a
Wasn't it?
WDNA, yeah. It was
Yeah.
it was
Oh, I
FIU
never
Jazz
seen
Hour,
backwards.
but it was
I
just
see.
not that long ago. It was in November, I think, maybe December.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow, how things have changed.
Oh yes.
Okay, so Melinda, tell me how the whole voice thing came about.
Okay, so I was doing my master's degree at the University of Illinois, and my brother, you know, he has been sick for a while, and he had his first heart transplant back when I was a freshman at NEC. That's why I moved home after he got the transplant the week before finals, so it was time to come home. I came, finished my degree at FIU, and then around that time last January, he got really sick again, and he was failing once again. And he had to be relisted for another heart transplant, which we never thought in a million years. And so it was January. My dad was here. That, you know, it was just all my family was at the hospital. That's when we got the news, and we honestly didn't think that he was going to leave the hospital at that time. So we're just sitting there all hanging out.
And he's super young. I mean,
yes, he's only 27, 28. He's like a few years older than me. Yeah. And so he's on his phone, and he says, "Oh, the voice auditions are happening today." And I auditioned one time in New York City when I was like 18, when I thought that's what I wanted, you know.
Right.
And so he was like, "Oh, they're happening right now at the stadium, 2 minutes from here. We're at Jackson downtown."
okay.
And I'm like, "Okay, great." And he was like, "You should go do that." And I'm like, "You're crazy. I don't even know what I would sing." I got on the plane with the clothes on my back because it was such an
Right.
emergency. I had stayed at the hospital like for 4 days straight, hadn't showered, like was living in a sweater. And so he was like, "You should just do it. Like, you never know." And my family, they're extra, so they just hyped me up, and they were like, "Come on, come on." So my aunt like ran out to the bullpen, and she was like, "Can somebody print this artist pass? Like, we're gonna go get her to The Voice." It was like a TV show. It was
Wow.
hilarious. And one of the nurses was like, "I'm gonna print her for you. We're gonna get you there." And so my dad was like, "Come on, let's go. I'll get the car." We ran. It was I still get the emails about it. And so the calls were at 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. and it was 4 p.m. So I was like,
wow.
I don't even know if they're taking people.
Right.
He was like, "Let's just show up. It's right on the corner. Let's just go." So there's nowhere to park, so he just dropped me off at the stadium. I'm running in circles. There's people there because they're waiting for people to come out, like their loved ones who have auditioned, and so I'm running around circles. I finally find the entrance. Some guy swore that I had already gone in, and he was like, "She already went. Don't let her in."
Wow.
What's happening? I promise you I didn't go in. And then it was like the movie where the TSA agent is like, "You go tell that girl you love her." And the security guards were like, "We're going to get you in there. You're going to be great. You're going to make it." And I was like, "Okay,
Oh my
I'm going to make it." So I get in the room, and then and it was actually a quick, you know, thank God they were still taking people. I sat, they called my group within 10 minutes. Then I was sitting in the room, which I had done before. And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, wait, I need to sing a song." I totally forgot that I had to sing
Wow.
something. I just thought of something that was fun, something I like to sing. And I just sang. And then the rest is history. The next day was the callback. I had to have 4 songs prepared with tracks.
Wow.
So I just downloaded every karaoke track
Sure.
I could think of.
Yeah.
Made a playlist on my phone, showed up, and my plane was leaving the very next day. Then they said, "We'll call you if we want you to come to an executive audition." They called me in April. I went in April. Then they said, "We'll call you if we want you to come back in the summer." And they called. So
Wow.
it all ended up just happening right place, right time, because I was lucky that I didn't have to miss any school. I didn't lose my
Right.
job or anything like
Yeah.
that. A lot of people, you know, it was not good timing for them. So
Right.
everything was just right place, right time. So it worked
Sounds
out.
like a surreal experience.
Did you enjoy it? Your experience?
Yes, going into that kind of thing, I was nervous because, especially in this world that we're in, like, with this genre, it can get a little,
Yes.
like,
It seems so ugly sometimes,
Yeah.
It seems
you're
so ugly.
illegitimizing yourself because you're doing something like that, And so
Right.
I was nervous about it, but at the same time, I was like, well, you know what? Guess what?
What do you got to lose? Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, I could sing jazz, I could sing pop, I could sing anything I want to sing. So if if I just want to sing, this is the place I need to do that.
Right.
So I was like, having an existential crisis, like going into it, but then,
Am I selling out?
am I selling out was really what it was. But even being there, I've spent many years in school perfecting my craft. It's not just a hobby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even being there, I learned that, I like singing pop. I like doing riffs.
Sure.
I like singing jazz. I like,
Why not?
improvising. I don't like improvising. I like doing a lot of things, and I'm just going to do them. And if I put out an album tomorrow, I don't even know what it would sound like,
Right.
And that's enough for me because I'm good at singing, and I want to do it.
Yeah. That's a great attitude to have. And, the whole thing about everybody's always going to have an opinion, like as they say, every...
Yeah.
So and the reality is you have to be true to yourself, and if it feels good, do it. That's the way it should be. You can never worry about what people say because people always want to bring you down. I mean, that's the truth. That's what I meant when I say, it can be, this industry can be so ugly because of that, of just everybody's opinion and, well, she did this and she did,
Yeah.
But you sound great and it's so fun to be able to watch it. So we're going to watch, I guess, a couple of your...
Some highlights. Let's do this.
You on TV.
I have not watched these since, so...
Well...
Enjoy.
I see trees that are green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, oh, what a wonderful world. Yes, girl. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. Yeah. Are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. All right. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, ooh, what a wonderful world.
Wow.
And can I tell you, I watched, he cut down the clips, but I finished watching the rest and I was just so pissed. And then I was mad at you for going back to Kelly. I was just like, oh no, she had her chance. She had her chance. You go on.
I said when you started this video.
You guys,
when you
this
started
is the reality. Here's the tea. This is the reality. Kelly, I'm gonna go. Okay, everybody there, we're all good friends. We're great.
Yeah.
I went against the strongest singer on my team in that battle, and
Yeah,
I
he
got
sounded
saved,
fantastic.
right?
Yeah.
He was great. Shane's great. I went against the strongest singer on my team. There was nobody on my team I truly felt could send me home after that. And on John's
Right.
team, he had 5 4-chair turns, including 3 people that people were already saying
okay.
winner.
Oh,
And
so
3
you were
people-
like playing the long game.
I
Is
have
that what
to
you're
play the game
saying?
too.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want
Okay.
to go. You know what I mean? I wanted John originally because
Yeah.
obviously I thought we did similar things. But
Yeah.
Kelly was great. But I was trying to think. you know, in the video clip, it looks like it was short, but we were
Yeah.
up there for a long time because I could not decide. But I was like, you know what? I truly felt like there's nobody else on Kelly's team that could send me home.
Right.
Well, I was wrong.
Well,
But I knew my fate when I went against the 7-foot single country white guy that I was gonna go home.
yeah.
There was
It's so funny.
there wasn't a chance.
Writing was on the wall.
So what do you feel like you got from that? Just the insight into the realities of music business, or I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, a few things. One, I made really awesome connections. You know, had I never
True
stayed
that.
with Kelly or even been on the show, you know, I would have never ended up being on the Kelly Clarkson show after I was a guest on the
Right.
show with
Right.
my brother. And then also kind of what I said earlier, kind of coming to the realization of myself. I mean, Gabe and I have been friends for many years, and I have a new crisis every week. About like, am I Nora Jones? Am I Michael Bublé? I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, I think for me, that experience told me like, man, like I said, I'm good at what I do, so I'm just gonna do that. And if I'm doing that, I'm happy. And then also just kind of getting to see like what goes into it. You know, even
Right.
if you're the hippest, most craziest jazz musician and you know the tightest harmonies and whatever, in the end, all these guys are up there playing triads and getting paid millions of dollars to back me up to
Right.
play freaking Sam Smith. So guess what? Like,
Right.
you're so hip, and that's awesome. And but they wouldn't be able to do what that if they weren't,
Right.
you know, didn't have the other side of things. So just kind of putting it all in perspective for me, I guess.
And I do think the cruelest thing about the music business is this idea that you have to choose. Like, if you don't pigeonhole yourself, you know, then you have no chance of making it, because, you know, you have to throw everything into, you know, all of the promotion and this, because you're this kind of artist. But the reality is we're so much more than that. You know, the influences, you know, that you've had in your life, they're not just jazz, and they're everything. And that just kind of like goes into the melting pot. That's what, you know, so you're all the Latin music and the pop music and the jazz, and it becomes jumbled up into who you are, and that's great. So it sucks that we have to choose, you know,
Yeah.
and be just one thing.
Yeah. Even
but-
when I was doing my first song on the show, you know, they had they pick all your music. I didn't get to pick.
Okay.
They make it look like you pick.
I also, you know, I am curious about wardrobe and stuff like that.
Oh, that was the best part.
Yes, tell me.
But
Give me some dirt, girl.
So, well, first they pick your song, and they had first given me an Ariana Grande song actually to start off. And for all my
Wow.
auditions up to then, I had sung standards. And then it wasn't until like the night before my first band rehearsal that they were like, somebody called us about you and showed me a video of you doing the all that stuff. And they were like, we kind of want you to go that way if that's what you do, but also it can't be too obscure that you're like freaking, you know, singing bebop up
Right,
there, but
right.
we need to find a balance.
Sure.
So last minute they ended up changing my song, and then I don't know why they did that, because in the end they gave me all pop songs anyway, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
But that was another thing that I felt like they couldn't maybe pinpoint me, say this is the kind of person she is. You know,
Because you
this
did it all
is-
well, and so and that's a hard thing. Yeah. Okay, so
But
wardrobe.
okay, that was awesome.
Makeup, wardrobe,
Okay.
hair.
Okay. Well, first of all, in the first video you saw, I did my own hair and makeup.
And you look fantastic.
I did. I really did.
Yes, you really did.
No, because I had to, when you first go in, there's, you know, even though there's 48 spots on a team, there's at least 80 of us backstage
Right.
waiting to audition. So you might not even get to audition if the teams fill up.
Right.
So the first time you're there, you have wardrobe fittings, but they ask you to bring your own clothes. What would you wear if you were on stage? Obviously, I dressed terrible and like a grandma, so they didn't want to use any of my stuff. So they take you to the back and they pick out a few things in your size. And I basically told them, here's what I would wear, here's what I wouldn't wear.
Yeah.
They kind of piece together a few outfits for you, and then you have 3 options, and the network decides what you're gonna wear. But then later on, when you come back for battles and knockouts, you have to send them a mood board. So you get to send them like 15 outfits or celebrities that you would dress like.
Oh my
And I was like,
gosh.
yeah, it was really awesome. So when I got there, you have a whole rack with like your picture on it, and they like shopped for you and everything. It was really cool, and they let you keep all the clothes.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, the second round, yeah, it was
that's a
cool.
nice
They
perk.
they really, but they would never make you wear anything you're uncomfortable in. Like that,
Okay.
my last performance, I was wearing these shoes. I literally was a stick. I couldn't move. So I had to change shoes like halfway through, but they're awesome. They really want you to be comfortable. Everyone was super great on the show. Like I had no complaints.
That's fun. Well, that's great. I'm happy. So, and then I know that after this, you're doing other competitions. Tell us about that.
Yeah,
what you've been doing.
You just did one very recently, right?
Yes. So actually, before The Voice, I did the Ella Fitzgerald Jazz Vocal Competition last April, right after my audition in LA, and I couldn't tell anybody. I went to Washington, D.C. and did that competition where it was 5 of us, singers from all over, from Latvia, from Italy. 2 of us were from the States and 1 from London. And they all had come from all over to do this competition. And I really didn't think I had a chance of winning, but I ended up winning that competition, first place, and then came back, went back to school, and then did The Voice, and then right after I came, was my elimination was aired, I was selected as a finalist in the American Traditions Vocal Competition, which is a competition of 9 different genres. So you have to sing. It was kind of perfect that I had come off the show and made that realization, because I had to sing 9 different genres. I had to sing gospel, I had to sing music theater, jazz, songbook.
How fun!
1980s,
Right.
And so I ended up doing that one and winning the Johnny Mercer Award for the best rendition of a Johnny Mercer song, and the Jazz Award for having the best jazz performance.
You go, girl!
Now you sent me 2 clips. One that we're going to put on. Tell me which one you would prefer to play. Dream,
the Grease?
Or There Are Worse Things.
What do you think?
I don't know. Wait, Dream, is it the one that it's a blue background, or is it the one in the church?
We can't tell.
You're wearing a dress, like a light green dress.
Oh, okay. Oh, which one? I don't know which one.
That's Dream.
Okay, let's do.
The other one you're wearing.
I heard the Grease one. I haven't heard that.
Let's do the Grease one.
There we go.
The Grease
From
one
Grease.
it is. Then.
If you're watching and you want to cast Melinda in a Broadway show whenever Broadway gets back.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Rizzo and Tracy Turnblad. 2 dream roles right there.
Oh my gosh, you'd be fantastic at either one.
There are worse things I could do than go with a boy or 2. Even though the neighborhood thinks I'm trashy and no good, I suppose it could be true. But there are worse things I could do. I could flirt with all the guys, smile at them and bat my eyes, press against them when we dance, make them think they stand a chance, then refuse to see it through. Well, that's a thing I'd never do. I could stay home every night, wait around for Mr. Right, take cold showers every day, and throw my life away on a dream that won't come true. I could hurt someone like me out of spite or jealousy. I don't steal and I don't lie, but I can feel and I can cry. A fact I'll bet you never knew, but to cry in front of you, that's the worst thing I could do.
You know, I have a special place in my heart for that song, because when I was in high school, that was like my theme song, you know.
Oh yeah.
every show that I had, that's what I sang, you know. So it's kind of funny. It's a great tune.
Yes, that's my go-to karaoke song. And then when I found out about this competition, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare. You have to send recordings of these 9 songs, so I just tried to take from what I know. But
yeah,
it's cool because you can do this. Like, you can do it again next year, especially if you're, if you didn't win or place or anything like that.
Right. Well, you get, all you wannabe singers out there, go ahead and do it.
Yes, check it out.
I want to say one thing before we have you guys play again. I want to just mention again, if you would put up the banner, all of these musicians have not had a gig since mid-March. April, May, June, July. This is the last Monday of July. It's really, really important for us to, help them, survive, because we don't even know when. Well, you're starting to do stuff at the Fish House. You want to talk about that for a second? What happens?
Yeah, so as you know, the curator of the fine music at the Fish House is all because of the amazing David Leon.
Right.
And we wouldn't have, that's where I did 98% of my learning, coming up through this high school jazz world, and so I'm now booking there. But they're doing outside now, so it's only duos and trios. But it's still happening every Wednesday night.
Okay, great.
So it's from 7 to 9 p.m., but you can come and, get a table. And it's all outside, social distance. And, yeah, there are duos and trios playing. So
weather permitting.
Yes, weather permitting, because it has been rained out a few times.
Yeah.
But next week is the great Francesco Romero on piano with a trumpet friend who I'm not familiar with, but... Cindy Ellis has been there. We've had a few people. Ashley Pizzotti's been out there. Gabe's been out there. Yeah. So we're still bringing music back every Wednesday.
Awesome. So, but besides that, not much is happening. And so I wanted to make sure that we support our musicians. And if you can text the word tip jar to the number, sometimes people get confused, 44321. It sends you a link. Then you follow that link and you can put in however much you can. We really appreciate it. It will get split this week between Melinda and David Leon, and we want to keep them supported and wanting to stay musicians.
Right.
But it's super important. So please, if you can, we really appreciate it.
And now we have a little tie-in, which we're going to talk about it later. But
so Thursday night we do listening parties. Brenda Alford is going to pay tribute to Kevin Mahogany, and we have a picture of you with Kevin Mahogany.
That's me. I just got goosebumps. Oh my god! I literally just got goosebumps.
Yeah,
I'm there too.
Oh, there you go. So there you
are.
Nice.
Standing behind Kevin.
There you both are at the Fish House with Kevin Mahogany. So, we encourage everybody to tune in on Thursday night to as we, kind of listen and talk about Kevin Mahogany, and who very well, or you did some work with and whatnot. Yeah. So, yeah.
So what's next for you? I guess you're just going to continue the bookings?
When are you going to have a record out?
Yes. What's up with that? We want a definitive answer.
And is it going to be jazz? Strict jazz? Or
well, I've been in school and then I was working full time through my undergrad. It's always been one thing after the other, never been off, never had time. Not that I didn't have time, I don't want to say that. But just always been working toward the next deadline. And this is the first time in my life that I'm not doing that. Finished with school, I have no summer activities.
You could always go back and get your doctorate.
I almost did. I almost stayed for my DMA. I know. Stop. I don't talk about it.
Wow.
No, I did, because I had taken, when I did my master's, I had taken so many master's credits that they could roll over to my doctorate and I could be done really soon. No, I didn't do it. I didn't want to do it. So now I actually took a high school teaching job at my old high school. So I'm now the assistant choral director.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. At Miami Arts Charter School. So
that's great.
I'll be there teaching a few ensembles, and so I'll be in Miami for a while. But the record thing will come. Now it's just about finding the money, and but now it's like the worst time to crowdfund. So it's all
right.
We're writing the songs, and we
meet a lot.
Good. We're collecting the details and the info, and what is the most effective and efficient way that we could crank out a very concise picture of what Melinda wants to
Great.
exist
Okay.
permanently, you know.
Yeah.
kind of
Well, I
thing.
guess the cool thing about the way people do it today, Lisa.
I know she
Wait,
has been
you know
on
what?
me since.
But you know what? She cannot even say a damn word to you
Oh,
because
yeah, where's your record at, girl?
for years
go.
I'm like, Lisanne, where's your record? Let's do your record. Get your record done. So she
I
cannot.
have
No.
Lisanne's one of her first records. so-
Absolutely. I know, we all do. And you know how long ago that was? You maybe older than you.
Wow.
Maybe not that old.
Damn, Lisa.
20?
That got ugly.
Maybe not that old. But
Hey, can we
19?
get you? Oh, 19, nice.
exactly.
Can we get you guys to play us out?
Sure.
You want to play that?
What are you gonna play?
Oh,
Let's just do.
you want to do that?
Let's do something let's just do that one.
This is my favorite part of the whole night. Hearing you
Oh, yeah,
guys.
yeah.
We're gonna
What is-
play the most jazz standard of all time.
Okay.
A
A
minor?
minor.
Yeah.
We're gonna play Autumn Leaves.
All right. Well, it's a good thing we didn't play the clip because we almost played a clip of that.
Oh gosh, that was a long time ago.
Yes.
Yikes.
What does
All
that
right,
mean, Cindy?
Yeah,
Just
Cindy,
kidding.
what the heck?
Okay. We're gonna get the setup.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So while they're setting up, we will let you know that this is Gabriel Godoy on the bass,
Yep.
and Melinda Rose Rodriguez on the vocals. Clearly, that's what we're doing tonight, and she's going to do "Autumn Leaves," and we're super excited about her tune. And then we'll
Then we'll come back and say goodnight.
once
Are you in
again,
the picture?
yeah, once again, we always take too long.
Can I have? Can you play?
Is that fun?
Yeah, you play. Cool. I'll do that thing. Okay. The falling leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling. Those autumn leaves start to fall. Those autumn leaves are by my window. Those autumn leaves, oh red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses and the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Drift by my window, the autumn leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, and the sunburned hands I used to listen to it away. The days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall.
Melinda Rose Rodriguez,
Yeah.
Gabriel Godoy.
Thanks so much,
Yeah.
guys.
Hey, I got to tell you, it looks like you were singing into a miniature Death Star.
Yeah, kind of, right?
Hey, thank you and Gabriel so much for joining us and giving us an insight into your life and your career.
And you will let us know when your record comes out, if it ever comes out.
Yes.
Or you drop us
I will
just
need money. So
there you go. Exactly. No, it's true. We all need help. That's
Everybody
the whole point.
Go there.
Your website is
Yes.
melindarosemusic.com, so you can always keep up with what's going on. I know on Instagram it's Melinda A with an extra A Rose.
Yes.
Right. So that was hard. I had to search for that, and so that's important. So follow her. So you know what's going on. Go to the Fish House on Wednesday nights. And we look forward to keeping up with you and seeing what's new for you. Thank you so very much.
well, thank you for having both of us. We appreciate it.
Have a fantastic night and stay safe.
Our pleasure.
Yes,
Good
you
night.
too. Good
Good
night.
Bye.
So we have come to the end. David Leon on saxophone and Melinda Rose, just fantastic young musicians that we look forward to hearing what's next for them. What's next for us is Thursday night, the listening party, which Brenda Alford is going to host. We're going to have special guests like Cyrus Chestnut and Curtis Lundy and Nicole Yarling, but the only thing we're going to talk about and play is the music of Kevin Mahogany. So please definitely check us out Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And next Monday, we will be back. This is exciting. We'll be back with the Gold Coast Jazz Society, South Florida Jazz Organization, and Sunshine Jazz Organization. It's been my dream, honestly, to link and do something all together. So we're all going to host for at least the month of August to see how this goes. And we are going to present Carlo Magno Araya. If a lot of you guys have been in town for a lot of years, he has been drumming with either the Araya Orta quartet, or he played with Mad Romance. He's played with everybody who's come out of Miami, and he's done his own thing right now. He's the head of a fantastic jazz program in Costa Rica.
Yep.
So he's going to come on and talk
It just had a major success with the jazz band over there in Costa Rica, so he's going to talk about that.
And so we have decided to move it to one person a night, so it doesn't go so long every night, every Monday night. So we're going to see how that goes. But we thank you so much for joining us and for supporting us, supporting jazz, supporting live music. It's really important. And hopefully we've made your week, your night a little bit better. We hope you stay safe. We hope you are happy and have a great summer. Here we go.
Good night.
We'll see you soon.